Missing piece for erections on TRT that no one is really talking about is simply testosterone. Now, it's not as simple as just testosterone because testosterone converts to DHT, which is the primary androgen that drives erections in males. But I think there are a lot of people floundering around with subpar erection quality on, number one, lower doses of testosterone, and number two, very frequent doses of testosterone that are missing a critical piece of how to fix their erections on TRT. And we're going to examine this from the literature's point of view, specifically discussing venous leakage, the venous occlusive function, and the mechanisms that drive blood staying trapped in the penis and how TRT directly interacts with those. To give people that are floundering around on the lower doses or the micro injections that have terrible erection quality, the missing piece of the puzzle to bring the erections back. All right, boys, before we start the video, look, Cortex Labs, which is my company, is a TRT guidance, coaching, and consulting company, just launched a highly requested video course, High Dose TRT Mastery, okay? Showing you how to high dose testosterone to get erections, libido, enjoy cycle level anabolism and strength while also dialing in the sexual function. This is brand new. It's 20% off as an introductory discount. Code's on the screen. Get it down below. Coaching is back to 50% off for a short period of time, right? You have a certain amount of clients that we've got to bring on, and once that's booked, the discount goes away. Code is 50 now. You'll save thousands on the 3-month and the 6-month program. If you need to bring me on board to fix sexual function and dial you in on TRT, this is what these coaching packages are for. 50% off right now. Code's on the screen. And so first, to understand like the point that I'm trying to make, which to summarize is the answer to your poor erection quality on TRT is actually just testosterone. But of course, there's nuance, the right amount of testosterone, a threshold of androgens to ensure that erections, the mechanisms therein work, and of course, frequency. Frequency matters a lot. Again, as I've described recently, if you're injecting 140 milligrams a week, but you're doing 20 milligrams a day, you may not ever cross the androgenic threshold for you to have adequate erectile machinery for erections to work. But if you take that 140 and you inject it all at once, every 7 days or every 5 days, you're going to have a lot more of the substrate that contributes to the functioning of the machinery, which allows you to have erections. Let's look at this paper just to kind of discuss what happens when you don't have enough testosterone. And yes, you can not have enough testosterone on TRT. It's called accumulation of adipocytes in penile corpus cavernosum may contribute to venous leakage, right? Venous leakage is essentially when you may be able to induce an erection, but it just goes down super quickly, right? You don't have stay erections or sustenance in your erections. It's almost like you can actually see the organ losing blood. That's what venous leakage is, right? The mechanisms that keep blood trapped in the penis do not work correctly. They summarize the observations from basic and clinical research and advance the hypothesis that testosterone deficiency contributes to significant changes in the structural integrity of the corpus cavernosa. It's the spongy tissue in the penis that fills with blood when you have an erection, resulting in the atrophy of trabecular smooth muscle and contributing to reduced vascular smooth muscle relaxation and diminished blood flow into the penis, resulting in a failure to fill. Venous occlusive or veno-occlusive function is the function that allows blood to stay trapped in the penis. And without sufficient androgens, you get a failure in that function. And the thing to keep in mind is that androgens, testosterone and DHT specifically, regulate the expression of endothelial nitric oxide synthase. This is the enzyme that takes your precursor for nitric oxide, which is arginine, and turns it into nitric oxide. And the endothelial, or the endothelium, is the thin lining of the blood vessels. So without sufficient androgens, your endothelium in your penis cannot express the enzyme that makes you nitric oxide, right? There you get erectile dysfunction. But androgens do a lot of other things. They inhibit adipogenesis. They maintain neural fiber networks and restore the balance between trabecular smooth muscle and the extracellular matrix, improving tissue compliance and therefore erectile function. So, boys, it's about the nitric oxide, it's about the health of the endothelium, and it's about the smooth muscle function. And it's about keeping healthy the system that keeps blood trapped in the penis so that you can maintain erections. Testosterone and DHT is what drives that. Here's another paper, Dramatic Improvement of Penile Venous Leakage Upon Testosterone Administration, a case report and review of the literature. This is a 56-year-old man that was suffering from diabetes and metabolic syndrome who had complaints of severe erectile dysfunction due to venous leakage. The guy was also testosterone deficient, all right? What did they do? They gave him testosterone, and erectile function almost immediately improved. And then they repeated the cavernosography. It's like an imaging of the cavernosa to see how blood is being trapped in the penis. And it no longer showed venous leakage. The solution was testosterone. So what does this mean for guys on TRT? Yes, estrogen inhibits erectile quality past a certain threshold and out of ratio and balance with your DHT. So you've always got to be mindful of estrogen. But in a lot of cases, you're just not reaching an androgenic threshold to make the venous occlusive function work the way it's supposed to work, to keep blood trapped in the penis and to maintain sufficient erections. And some people's threshold for androgens is just higher than other people's thresholds, okay? There are men that can tolerate 100 milligrams a week of test. They inject it twice a week and 50 milligrams or once a week at 100 or sometimes every day. And what is that, like 13 milligrams a day? They don't need any more testosterone than that to support erectile function. It actually just ends up working out for them. But there are others, and I've seen this, and I'll repeatedly bring this case up, where a guy's on transscrotal cream, a few pumps of the 200 milligram stuff a day, doesn't get erections, right? Total test is 1,200, then it drops back down to like 700 or so. Estradiol is in range. It goes maybe slightly over range. There's enough DHT there at the top of the reference range or slightly over, but he doesn't have erections. Then injects a bolus of 50 to 70 milligrams of testosterone propionate, a fast-acting testosterone modality that converts directly to DHT in a pretty rapid manner, and the guy has an erection that lasts minutes when he hasn't had that in 10 years. He crossed the androgen threshold finally. This same thing applies to people doing daily microinjections, right? They're doing them. The testosterone itself in the blood looks fine. They don't have erections. They decide one day to inject a milliliter of cypionate at once. By day 2, suddenly the fullness in the penis is back, girth is back, and they get erections. They're longer, fuller, the penis looks healthy, it's warm, there's blood flow. It's like, what happened here? You needed to cross the androgenic threshold. Now, of course, we've got to factor in other things, right? You might take from this, okay, well, the solution is inject more testosterone. And generally, the answer is yes. The solution to erection issues on TRT is to inject more testosterone. But with that comes other complications. Potentially the management of estradiol, because it's inhibitory to erections via increasing anti-erectile chemicals like catecholamines in the penis, inhibiting some of the aspects of cholinergic mediated nitric oxide function. So again, as I've been discussing, you modulate the protocol so that you end up in a balance of TDHT and estradiol, which is why I'm such a huge proponent of infrequent injections to achieve this. Again, if you're doing the daily injections, you're just likely to continue to overlap estradiol, specifically at the tissues where it matters, and then it can have some anti-erectile properties. Guys, you've got to think about this. But what you get when you split your injections up, as is the case with cypionate, which it was basically designed to do, is it a better androgen-estrogen ratio due to the trough of E2. At the bottom here, on the right side of this graph, where you've got your optimal ratio, because you've got a trough in estradiol, then guess what happens? You inject again, you get a surge of androgens while estradiol is still down there and not in a problematic range. Then you have what's called hormonal separation, okay? With daily injections or every other day injections, you don't really get hormonal separation. You get both of these hormones rising very close to each other on a graph, whereas if the injections are spread apart, you get a nice separation. Look at the difference in the lines, the distance between that testosterone and the estradiol via a gapped out injection frequency. What this implies, and what I've seen in coaching, is that you can actually inject more testosterone to, in fact, reach your androgen threshold to fix erections on TRT, as long as you're doing it in a way which is less frequent. This is where you get resolution of erection problems. The necessity to manage estradiol actually changes based on injection frequency. You have to manage it typically more with daily injections, despite what people are saying. Again, it isn't about the blood numbers. It's about the constant exposure to estrogen at the tissues. So I want to have people just think about the androgenic threshold that they might need. In plenty of cases, you're just going to see guys on moderate levels, even somewhat highish levels of testosterone that just decide to inject 100, 150, 200 of testosterone at once or add 70 milligrams of prop on top of their existing protocol, and suddenly the erections work. You've got to question why. Somehow the androgens, the DHT specifically, are able to do their job at the penile tissue to keep blood trapped in there and foster the health of the mechanisms of erection. If you can dial that in while managing estrogen if you have to, or injecting less frequently so that estrogen effectively takes care of itself and you stay in the right ratios, you'll fix erectile issues on TRT. Your job is to find your androgenic threshold and design the rest of your protocol so that the metabolites, specifically estradiol, do not muck that up. Look, boys, I break this down specifically in high doses, in high-dose TRT mastery. I mean, this just launched. This is a premium video course that shows you how to dial in the sexual function on high doses, get your erections back, get your libido back, but also maintain significant sports TRT-like or cycle-level anabolism and strength. I also expose daily injections as inferior and explain to you why in this video course. Go get it. It's 20% off as an introductory launch discount. Code is on the screen. You can start watching it right away. You're going to want to watch this one, boys. Go grab it. But look, I mean, if you're having trouble dialing in and you just don't want to go at it alone, and importantly, you want to stop wasting time, bring me on board as a coach. This is all I do. It's me and you one-on-one, and we'll get it resolved. Right now, coaching is 50% off 3 and 6 month programs. You and I on the fact-finding call. As soon as the next day after you book, there's no waiting. We start. Do not waste time. It is summer. If you're floundering around and you can't dial in, you're just wasting time, okay? If you have the budget, bring me on board. I've made it easier. It's 50% off. Code is on the screen. Book me for coaching, fix erection issues, fix libido issues, and dial in. By the way, the 20% discount coupon code applies to Mastering Libido and Erections on TRT. That's a digital playbook. Mastering Testosterone Cypionate on TRT. That is a video course. The source list, Mastering Testosterone Cream for Libido and Erections. All right. Discount codes are in the description, and so are all these epic products to help you dial in permanently on TRT. My brother in test. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Please like the video. It makes a huge difference, and sub to the channel. We are a rapidly growing TRT channel. I'd love to have you on board as a subscriber, and you're going to get a lot of informational value from the stuff on this channel. I'm going to leave you with another video that describes the androgen threshold needed for sexual function on TRT. To tie this picture together, it is right here. Go watch it. It's not long, and it will be worth your time. Otherwise, bro, kick ass, rock on, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you on the next one.